Welcome into the LMU Women's Basketball Report for February 28th. I'm Scott Erlin, as always, in here with head coach Crystal Evans. Coach, finishing up this is the last, I don't know if you would call this obviously it's the last podcast report of the regular season and the first one of the postseason. Looking forward to the postseason now. And we get to start off by talking about the first outright South Atlantic Conference championship in the history of the LMU women's basketball program. You guys you took care of business over there at Catawba, a 21-point win in the regular season finale, and then got some help from Anderson, who beat Wingate and gave us the outright South Atlantic Conference championship. So just talk about the past week and obviously that accomplishment.
Well, I didn't share with the players. Obviously, it had to work out this way for us to get the number one seed. I know that we would have shared the regular season title with Wingate had they won on Saturday as well. But actually, Patrick, our commissioner, had already sent out an email where he had already done the coin flip. And I didn't mention it to our players, but we lost the coin flip. And so I was, I don't know, when I got that email, I just remember thinking, man, I don't even want to think about it. I just totally want to put this out of my head, because I don't want to tell the players, because I don't want them to play tight going into Catawba. I just want to come out and play ball and play the way that just be aggressive like we like to be anyways, and not put any extra pressure on them or anything like that. And so we never even told them about the coin flip. We didn't, again, I know that the conference was trying to be proactive and just send out the information, if there is a tiebreaker, this is, what we're going to do, and just trying to be, very proactive in making the determination. But to me, I was really fired up. I got that email and I was like, man, I'm not even focused on this email. We're going to take care of business and it's going to work its way out, and it's not going to come down to a coin flip. We're going to take care of it. And that's what happened. And actually, we were sitting there at Catawba, and there was probably about 2 minutes left in the game. And I guess my husband was in the stands watching the Anderson Wingate game. And honestly, I hadn't thought about it at all, because we were focused. Catawba's a good team, and you can't focus on anything else. You got to focus at the task at hand, and that's what we were doing. And so I honestly, hadn't thought about anybody else playing at the time. And then Malia had came up, our trainer, and she came up and she had said, Coach, Anderson just beat Wingate, and so our team knew with 2 minutes to go in the Catawba game that Anderson had just beaten Wingate, and so they were all cheering and everything. And then so finally when the game stopped is kind of when the emotion hit, and we were all hugging each other and just kind of really enjoying that moment. And so when we got in the locker room, there's there's a lot of things that I wanted to say based on the Catawba game, just some things that we need to get better on and moving forward. But for whatever reason, I came in there and I just couldn't even say one, critique, one, anything. I just told them, I said, y'all, let's just enjoy this. Let's just have a good night. We went to Olive Garden, and, the girls had just a celebration type meal, and just really, really embraced the moment and just kind of slowed down. I told them, I said, look, y'all, let's just enjoy this Saturday, and let's enjoy this victory, and let's enjoy this championship today, because on Sunday we're 0-0, and now everybody has to prove themselves going into the conference tournament. So, but we really did. We really just took a step back away from everything, took it all in, and just really enjoyed the moment.
Well, and what was the feeling in the locker room there? I'm sure there was a ton of different kinds of emotion that was going on. And one thing, it was just pure excitement and joy, and then another way, probably relief just to be done with the regular season and have that all now accomplished. So kind of what was the overall just feeling?
It was a gamut of emotions, just like you said. Obviously, we were terribly excited and just a feeling of accomplishment. Because I was telling them, now you've gone down in history. You're gonna have a banner. You're gonna be remembered. And it's just let that kind of soak in. But it's funny because at the moment, like there was a lot of excitement, a lot of hugging each other and everything because we got such a close knit team, anyways. But then there was just like a really rallying type of mentality too, like we're not done yet, and all of a sudden, it really went from hey, everybody enjoying the moment to them telling each other, hey, we're not done, don't enjoy it too much because we're not done, and we still have a lot more left to do, and okay, so we got our first task accomplished, let's keep moving forward, and that sort of thing. So it was just I don't know how to explain it. It's a moment I'll remember forever.
Well, and then now it was a total mess there for the 8 seed. You get the number 1 overall seed for the SAC tournament, and you saw Mars Hill, Tusculum, Coker, and Queens all tied at 5 and 17. Queens gets the number 8 overall seed. They beat Tusculum on a heartbreaker for Tusculum with the last second 3-pointer. So now you get Queens, a team we played just a couple of weeks ago and beat by 52 points here at Textron Arena. But obviously, we know Sarah Jansen's a good coach, and you can't really count on necessarily another 52-point win here at Textron Arena.
Not at all. Not at all. I think it's definitely going to be more comparable to when we played them at third place. We struggled that game, and I think she's going to have them ready. And two, it's to their credit, the fact that they slid in there. When I was going through all the scenarios, I literally did not have Queens picked. Just because they've gone on this losing streak.
And 11 straight losses before.
And two, but if you look at them, just look at our senior night. they look like they've gone through war. You got the one kid, Mindy, who had the cast on her hand, and you got Cheyenne Logan. She's got her shoulder all taped up and everything. They literally, as every team in America has got all the bumps and bruises and injuries and what have you at this point in the season. But I just remember seeing them at senior night thinking, good Lord, what has happened to this team? They, didn't look like the same team that we played at their place. And it's because they're not 100%. It's not coaching. It's not X's and O's. They're not healthy. They were not healthy when we played them senior night. Now you go back to their game against Tusculum, and Mindy's got her cast off. She's hitting a lot of threes now, So they are starting the recovery part of their injury. And, I think that they're going to come in here. They've got new life. Here they've lost all these games, and then they come in. They, like you said, they beat Tusculum on a buzzer beater 3. And I feel like that gives them a lot of momentum, a lot of just new life. And now they're coming against us on Wednesday. So I know that they're going to come in with a lot of energy. And I think Sarah's really going to have them prepared for us. And, I feel like it's going to be a good game. I feel like, we definitely have to keep our focus, and there's no way in the world we can look past this team. And I keep telling the girls, y'all, don't look at that 50-point victory. Again, I feel like they were at their lowest. I feel like they were injured. I feel like they were playing through some things. And the same team that played our place, and if you go back and watch that Tusculum game, they're two different teams. And the team that came out to fight against Tusculum is going to be the team that's going to show up on Wednesday, I have no doubt.
Well, and the same thing you talked about, it's the postseason, so the regular season is its own thing, and now everybody kind of resets, everybody 0-0. The seeds are kind of thrown out the window. So how do you it's kind of strange because last year was the first year ever that the women's team had made it to the semifinals of the SAC tournament. Now it's like you go into it and on paper you're the favorite to win it. So how do you kind of get yourself prepared for that and keep everybody on task, even though you see Queens coming in here, losers of 11 of the last 12?
Well, honestly, Scott, I feel like last year really solved a lot of the problems and was really preventative. And what I mean by that is we worked hard last year. And last year, I just felt like we were competitive and we were right on that edge of being a really good team because we were in all the games. We had 9 overtime games. The games that we lost, they were single digits. We didn't have a team that just blew us out. So we were competitive. We were in every single game that we played last year. So when we got to the tournament, it was a different mindset. Our mindset, for whatever reason, and it's not one that I was pushing, but it's just how the girls thought at that moment. They were so excited to get to Greenville. And I get that, and that's a huge step, and that is a big accomplishment, so I'm not taking anything away from that. but it's kind of like we had already accomplished something just by getting there. And so when we were sitting in the locker room after the Anderson loss, first game in Greenville, I mean, it was just kind of a feeling like, man, why did we hold ourselves at such a low, goal? Because we could have done more. I mean, we really could have, we could have done more, and we could have had this season go further. And I feel like the girls that were returning, like they resolved themselves right there in that locker room to come back better players. I mean, there's no wonder how this team is as talented as they are this year. It's not like we added a whole bunch of, outside kids or recruits or anything like that. No, the kids that we have that were already established in our system went home that summer and busted their tail and came back better players. And that's made all the difference in the world. And their mindset changed in that locker room in that moment, And so now I feel like it's not so much me preparing them. It's me having them focus. Like their mind's already on Sunday. And I keep saying, don't do that. Don't look at Sunday. Worry about Wednesday. We worry about Wednesday. We take care of business on Wednesday. Sunday will take care of itself. It's just one task at a time, one game at a time. And again, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like their mindset. But I'm just trying to rein them in now. I felt like last year I was trying to push them to get going, and it was constantly just, just trying to push them. We can do better. We can do more. We can do more. And then this year I'm like, hey, let's, don't look past anybody. Because like I said, Queens is going to be prepared. And if you don't remember, obviously Sarah Jansen was at Mars Hill last year, and I'm telling you, it took everything we had to win that game at Mars Hill last year. It took everything we had. I got a technical. Brittany Guy got a technical. It was the most emotional game ever. And obviously that didn't work to our favor by any means. But I'm just telling you, if that's any indication of how emotional that game was, we were just Mars Hill was playing as hard as they possibly could. I felt like we were playing as hard as we possibly could. Now, that don't mean either team was playing perfect. They were making mistakes. We were making mistakes. And it was just, it was just a knockout, drag-out fight. And we were very fortunate to pull away with it. And so I know Wednesday is going to be similar. I just feel like she's going to have her team very prepared. They're got the momentum coming into the game. And, they're... Again, everybody was counting them out going into Saturday's game. And so I'm sure that they kind of have that mentality, more of like an underdog. Everybody's counting us out. But at the end of the day, if the people that have the Queens jersey on believe in themselves, what can they accomplish? And I'm saying the same thing to my players. Okay, we're 0-0 now. We have to prove ourselves all over again. So, yes, we won the regular season. Yes, we got that number 1 seed, and that's great. But come Wednesday, we have to prove ourselves just like Queens does. We got to come out and we got to prove ourselves.
Well, and the one thing it seems like you've talked about all season about your group is they're hungry. They're hungry for more. And that sounds like it was established in that locker room last year in Greenville. And now, it seems like you're kind of in a good place going into the postseason. 3 blowout wins, and then you had that narrow loss to Anderson where you really had a chance to win late and just came up a little bit short. So how do you feel about the status of your team going into the postseason?
Well, I just feel like we're playing right where we need to be. There's very little that we've changed. We've focused more on just being aggressive. I think that teams are trying to do different things to slow us down. The Catawba game, for example, they were playing that 2-2-1 press and to kind of slow us down. And in actuality, we still I believe we finished 89 points. So it didn't slow us down, and I feel like the girls were doing a great job still attacking and getting out and running their lanes and really pushing the ball. And I tell them all the time, when we're aggressive both on offense and defense, we're a really good team. And two, just really getting on the boards. Josie had 19 rebounds again against Catawba. Megan had a double-double. I felt like our rebounding is right where it needs to be going into the tournament, and that's just so crucial for us. And I just feel like we're in a good place. I really feel like mentally, we're really good, and our focus is where it needs to be. And as long as we stay aggressive, again, the teams that we haven't played well against, like you had mentioned, Anderson, those are the games that we come out timid. And that's one thing I've just been reiterating here lately is just, y'all, when we're successful, it's because we're aggressive. So let's not revert back. We know the formula that works. So let's just stick with it.